Hi, all. This is the update for the 2022 UPAR administration. So I'm going to go through it because there's been quite a bit of change. And this year, we are going to find it much easier to use. So the first thing is that we will no longer be using the educatordashboard.com. So when you are logged into your Google Chrome as a Tomball ISD teacher, you are automatically given access to the UPAR. But the address that you go to now is going to be universalpar.com. So we're going to go to universalpar.com and you'll come to this page. And if you previously were someone who was an analyst, which means that you had access to the whole district, and you are trying to enroll students or give students a test, then you need to do select your license. If you were a teacher, in the previous years, you were just an educator and that was your role. You didn't have to see other students' data. Then you would go here and make sure that it just says that you're working as an educator. So we're going to go to the educator view, and this is the screen that comes up. You have a choice of manage students or view reports. So if you want to be able to see some particular students that you are going to be giving the UPAR to, then you need to click on manage students. And you will need to either add them individually with their email addresses, and so that's their ID number at either SEC or elem.tomballschools.net, or you can create a CSV file in Google Sheets or in Excel that is set up to look like this template. So in the first column, you put email address just like that, and then you list your students underneath. The good thing is that we no longer need to have their independent reading level because they have created a new algorithm, and that determines what their independent reading level is, but it also will continue to measure the impact of auditory supports to the students' access of content. So once you add your students or you create your database and choose your file and import it, then you're going to be able to see those students' data that you have enrolled. Now, every student in Tomball School District is now enrolled based on their email address, which is their ID number at SEC or elem.tomballschools.net. And those students, once you are ready to test them, are going to go to the website, same website that they used in the past, startpar.com. Now they need to make sure that they are logged in here to Google Chrome as the account, because when they log into startpar.com, it's going to automatically know who they are, and it's going to ask them a couple of questions. So you can see that first it's going to make sure that the student is able to hear. So we're going to, oops. So I could hear, so I'm going to say, I hear music. And you can see that it is going to talk to me because I am the person up here. And I am the person who is logged into Google. So it automatically knows who you are. And then the instructions to the student are every time they see this speaker, they need to click on the speaker and listen to what the speaker says. Now, in contrary to previous years where we started with the independent reading passage that the student had to do on their own, now the program starts with a read passage. So it's going to ask the student what grade they're in, and then it's going to give them a grade level passage, and then read it to them and then ask them the questions just like it did in the past. Questions of fact, questions of inference, and questions of vocabulary. Once the student finishes that quiz, it's going to give them the opportunity to choose a second passage, and then it will give them up to 5, but no more than 5 passages to read in order to determine the impact of the auditory support. So the student will go through the Start PAR website. They don't have to know the name of a protocol. They don't have to have a passcode, anything like that anymore. It just automatically knows because they're logged into their Google Chrome. If they need a break and they need to continue another day, they can save and exit and it will save their place. And when they log in, they can continue on from where they were. Now, once they're all done, they will get a notice that they have completed it, and then you as the teacher will go back to universalpar.com, and that's where you're going to be able to look at the reports. So you will click on view reports, and those students that you have made connections with, or if you are then in your analyst license, you'll be able to see the whole district if you are one of the specialists who have the district wide. But let's just say that you're a teacher and you've enrolled some students that you wanted to be able to view their data. So then you click on view reports, and then you're going to click on the students here. If you had some previous protocols, you could click there. So if you've used it in the past and you wanted to look at previous protocols, but click on your students. And then when you click on the students, you'll be able to see the names of the students and either click on those or well, you'll be able to click on those. Sometimes there's some across the top here because I'm in my educator license and I don't really give it. So, I don't have very much data. Just be aware that you can change the dates here. So if you were looking for certain parameters for some reason, like let's say you wanted to show how many UPARs you had done during the first grading period or the second grading period, you could put your parameters in like that. You can see you can download the information as a CSV, as a PDF, or you can print the information. And so once that's all done, then you have your reports. And we're going to look at reports in a second. So let me switch out of my license here. And I'm going to go to Analyst because that will give me some data that I can show you. And we're going to do View Reports. So when you get your View Reports, again, you can change the parameters of the dates that you're looking at. And you can choose your students. So these are students who are by ID number, and then these are across here are students who are identified by name. I'm not going to go into that because I don't want to breach any confidentiality, but you can see here that you get the grid of the actionable data. So you learn how many students can use universal design. So they're reading at or above grade level, so you don't really need an accommodation. But if they are using a text reader, sometimes that helps them to access information that's otherwise not accessible to them. So that was the UDL. That's the highest. And then we have, again, people who are able to get above grade level, got to grade level, got above independent reading level, and received no benefit. And the no benefit students could be because of a variety of reasons. So you don't want to disregard the potential of using auditory support, but you definitely want to look at what are those other contributing factors to their lack of access to the content. So again, if you're setting students up and you want to be linked to them, you as a teacher are going to go to universalpar.com. You are going to link with the students by putting in their email address as ID number at SEC or ELEM.tomballschools.net. You are going to administer the UPAR at startpar.com. You do not need to have the independent reading level anymore because the algorithm will figure that all out. And once they're done, you will go back to universalpar.com and be able to review their data. So if you have questions or problems, give me a holler. Eileen Garza at tomballisd.net. And I look forward to working with you. Thanks.